I'm running through the gap. Welcome back to Christina's Garage Gearhead in Training. Today I'm actually remembering to do my intro. I was so excited going to the Holley booth for the influencer picture yesterday. I didn't realize I forgot to do an intro. Today is the last day. I am heading into the Speedway. I am not really sure exactly what events I want to look at today. I do know there are a couple of interviews that I need to follow up on so I can actually do them. I was walking through the Autocross parking lot and spotted Valerie's car. I also noticed that the cones were set up different. I talked to Valerie's husband, Tom, and he said that it's essentially like a drag race. There are two cars that go next to each other, then they turn outward, and then I think they do a little bit more evok, and then they come to a dead stop. I'm really excited because this is something different. The other things that they were doing the last couple of days seemed kind of like the same. I'm gonna try to get some good shots of Valerie running this course. Valerie's up next. Unfortunately, Valerie's car started smoking. I did see that Jeremy's in the lineup. I'm gonna go down to the opposite end of the track so I can get some video of him. Since they do that straightaway, I wanna be kind of right at the end so you can get video of him coming directly my direction. That's gonna be pretty cool. Jeremy should be one of these, I think.
Going up against Gabe Sweeney's 22 Corvette out of Sparks, Nevada. Taking a lot of strike. That was confidence. Confidence or today?
Yeah, this one is Jeremy. That was really cool. As I've said before, I really enjoy watching people race that I've actually met. Someone pointed out to me that I got dust all over my pants. I was leaning up against the barrier wall to get video. I didn't realize. So if you're wondering in the future footage for the rest of this video why I have a bunch of white on my pants, that's why. Since it's the last day, there's definitely less people. More people are heading home early. I can hear that at the dirt track. They're still going. I'm heading out there. Gotta say, my favorite so far is the autocross and the off-road stuff. Like, everything else is also really cool. Those are my personal favorites. All right, I'm back out here. Can't help myself. It's so much fun. Mike if I can get into the center today. As soon as this driver comes off, he says I can like run into the center and I can get you guys a different view, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm running through the gap. Oh my gosh. This is right in the center. They're gonna come around this way, and then the whoops are over there. This is a cool view from right in here. Look. Ah! Wow. So I was walking past, what did you say, a Hyena?
Yeah, it's a 2011 ArmorWorks Hyena.
2011 ArmorWorks Hyena. That is so cool. Is it military?
It is, it's a prototype.
A prototype, wow. How cool. Well, I'm excited to watch you go then. Good luck.
I appreciate it, thank you.
This is Chris. He is the magician when it comes to all the dirt moving. Mike said it will be about an hour where it will be all back to normal, where it's completely flat. He built all of this, all of the jumps and the entire track. That's so cool. Like, these are things that when you see everybody coming out here and racing and doing all those fun things, you don't always realize all the work and different types of jobs that are involved to get you to that point. You might not want to race, cool. You know, maybe you're good at moving dirt and you can help make tracks. Mike said that most of them are racers though, so. Mike said that there are other events that he does. He gave me his website, and they have on the, I guess on their social media what their schedule is. It would be cool to see some other stuff. Oh my gosh, I have clay on the bottom of my shoes. It was cool to chat for a little bit longer, like everybody else has left. And I don't know, I feel like this kind of stuff, like they wouldn't be able to do this event without people like Mike and Chris. Like, Chris puts all that effort and research into making sure that the jumps are the right angle, and if they're not done right, it can be super unsafe. And Mike and they have other people too that are managing the safety of the track itself. These are things that when you see all the flashy stuff, you don't always see that. And I wanted to make sure to highlight that everybody comes together to contribute, and that's what leads to all the fun that they can have. I just talked with Eli and Josiah. They're the ones that had the military vehicle. Apparently it was the first time they've ever taken it out. It was really cool to be able to get some footage. I got their Instagram and stuff. That way I'll make sure to tag them below. And if you guys want to check out their stuff, see what else they're doing, It was definitely very different. I'm here with Carlos and Zach. I was walking by the other day and saw your car and heard your backstory. I really would love for both of you to share the backstory behind it.
You know, I'll premise it with the car was just a street car. I used to commute with it back to work. I'm a deputy sheriff, as you can see, with Riverside County Sheriff's Department. And one of the days he was driving it to school, he wrecked it. So I'll let him tell you that story.
So I was on my way to school in the morning, and it had rained the night before. And this was back when it was on full slicks. So it was the Toyo RR, so it had just the 2 lines in the middle, which are great tires, by the way, except for when you hit water. So I was driving, and I hit my 1 to 2 shift, and then the rear end walked out on me, and I hit the curb, hit a tree, and the entire front right quarter panel was just destroyed.
Wow.
So broken the knuckle and a bunch of other little stuff, but yeah. After that, we started the rebuild process after insurance paid us out and everything, and then my Civic was actually supposed to go to SEMA under Hastings, and we spoke to the company, and they actually wanted a muscle car, and so we're like, well, we actually have a Corvette that we're building this year because kind of had to. So we sent them over photos, and within like 15 minutes, they were all in for it. And then, so we continued building it and everything, and got the carbon fiber fenders, did new wheels, and the car was progressing along quite well. And then one night, we were just kind of hanging out playing video games. I was actually playing Need for Speed. And I was driving a Corvette, and I made this livery, and I was like, I wonder if he'd be up for it. So I showed him, and he's like, huh, send me those photos. So the next day, he happened to know the sheriff's daughter, and so he texted her, sent her photos, and said, hey, do you think your dad would be up for this? And she's like, I'm not sure. Let me text him. So we didn't hear anything for like 3 weeks, so we figured it's not going to happen. We'll just wrap the car black, and it'll be a full drag car, and we can drive it on the street and stuff like that. And then he gets a text one day, and she said that he'd just gotten back for a trip and said, send him the proposal. So he sent him over our sponsorship proposal that we've been sending to all the other companies. And we heard back in, what, like half an hour?
Yeah, something like that.
So about half an hour, and he was in. So, and then from there, we went through and decided to theme it as a sheriff vehicle.
So the backstory to the vehicle is the new stigma around motorsports and law enforcement is they don't share a common bond. They see us as, you know, we just want to take the cars away. We want to get them away. They want them off the streets. I'm a carhead. I have a lot of coworkers that are gearheads as well. My son, he's been wrenching with me since he was 4. You know, I have many pictures of him doing stuff like that. So the premise behind the car is we want to get back to the community. We want to go to local events, local drag races, and show them there's a flip side to taking us somewhere where you can be safe and not endanger anybody else. It's not always about yourself. You know, it's the carnage that you can cause around you when something goes bad. And when you're pushing cars to the limits, you can expect that sooner or later something's going to give out. That's part of racing. That's part of building cars. It just comes with the territory. Fortunately for me, I'm going to say it, I have the best boss in the world. You know, he's for the people. He loves just everything. You know, he loves life. He lives for life. You know, so he's been more than forthcoming with it. We actually have a video shoot coming out on next Friday. We have an appointment with Corvette Magazine and our media team. So in the near future, there's going to be some releases coming out with our SWAT team, our Bearcats, our helicopter. We actually have a Lamborghini lined up, and we're going to do a traffic stop. So all that stuff's coming out in the near future. Car's very exciting. It's been received very well. I have nothing but positive things to say.
It stopped me because, as I was mentioning to you before, I'm a medically retired first responder, and I've interacted with law enforcement, and law enforcement has kept me safe on scenes. And I am a firm believer in building relationships, and that like everything starts from there, and de-escalation of things and communication and all of that comes down to building those relationships and building trust. And I think that's so cool that you're doing this because you're giving an opportunity for people to go, oh, wow, you're just a regular human being. You're not this robot. You're not, you know, like I feel like there's so much divide overall that this is a really cool way to bring people together. And I'm so grateful you guys took the time to talk to me. And where can people follow you guys if they want to see more? And you guys, I forgot to have you mention, where is the car located?
Well, it's Riverside County Sheriff's Department, so we're based out of Riverside. We will go to a lot of venues like that. But the car did make it out to Vegas for SEMA. It was transported by Hastings to Indianapolis for the PRI show, so it's made its rounds. I know we're scheduled on Friday to do the video shoot. On May 4th, Saturday, we'll be at Irwindale Speedway for Corvette Fest, so the car will be there as well. We are in communications with LA Sheriff's Department for their motorsports division. They want us to do a collaboration with them for their annual charity event, and I believe that's coming up in August or September, one of those dates. I'm not entirely sure, but you'll see the car all over California.
Cool.
It's going to be making its rounds.
And on your social media, you'll be able to tell people where you guys are going.
Absolutely,
and stuff like that.
absolutely.
Okay.
And our handle, it's mine and my son. We're both on Instagram. Mine is Los Built, LOS Built, period 00, and my son is Built period Zach Built period by period Zach. And then it's on the car as well if anybody wants to see it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
I appreciate
you. Keep up the awesome work, and hopefully I'll be able to see you guys more at some more car shows.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
That's just one example of how one individual can make huge waves of positive impact. Father, son, they like this car, they work with people now they're going into their communities and making a really positive impact. The fact they're at SEMA and PRI and like they're gonna be contracting with other groups, like they're just individuals, they're just regular people. And they're going out there and making an impact. And that doesn't change between me, them, you, all these people. Some people have been doing it longer. They've gained more momentum and now they have more influence, and maybe other people might have some more resources, whatever. Each one of us as individuals can make a positive impact in some way, shape, or form. I don't have a bunch of car experience and I'm still here and I'm making a positive impact in the way that I can and bringing value the way that I can. It's the same thing for all of you. I'm here with Tom West. One of my followers on YouTube told me to stop by, and I love your story. I appreciate that you're a veteran. Thank you so much. That you're a business owner, you're a racer. Like, you have done so much, and I feel like your story is super inspiring to potentially help other people who might be struggling, maybe in a similar situation to what situation you were in your past.
Absolutely.
Would you mind sharing a little bit, like snippets about like your history? I know there's been a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that you missed in that I really like to touch on, that a lot of people try and shadow themselves from, is I'm an ex-prisoner too. So I was in prison for 3 years of my life, and it was after I got out of the military and I went downhill. I really didn't know what I was doing, and I just kind of went crazy. I was mad at the world. I just got back from war, and everything just seemed to be going in circles, and I just started making a lot of bad decisions. So during that time, I really had some time to sit down, and it was probably the first month or two that I got in that I started telling myself, look, I got to make changes in my life. You know what I mean? I want to do better than this. Like, I never gave 100% to, or even tried to give 100% to anything, even in the military, anything that I was doing. And I was like, if I'm really going to make it in life, I've got to try and give 100% at everything I'm doing. A lot of times it's hard, Time management is really big, spending time with the family, the wife, doing the racing, businesses, everything else that's going on. So it's just, it's hard, but it can be done. I'm living proof of it. So when I was in prison, I started making all these changes. I was doing some extra schooling. I read books every day. I was teaching myself how to be a better person, and I got out and I just went right on that. You know what I mean? From everything from work to everything else that I was doing, I was giving 100% to it, and it just opened up doors for me that had never been opened up before in my life. You know, and it was helping me see things clearer. It was helping me go places that I never ever imagined, you know. And I was fortunate enough to get in business for myself. I have a skill. I worked on transport refrigeration, and I was able to take that and develop it into my own company. And then I was able to take the proceeds that I was making from that and open up other companies. We opened up a race car shop, something I've always wanted to do my entire life. And I went from there to open up a towing company, and then I started buying real estate. So we own a whole bunch of properties and stuff of that nature. And it just continued to go. And when we were doing the race car company, I always wanted to, you know, do the YouTube thing and, you know, and everything else, and, you know, just have this following where we could go around and just show people how cool it is to race, because we were racing at that point. But I was like, dude, we really need to do this. And some friends of mine, Kyle Loftus with 1320 Video, he's like, Tom, you're a character. He's videoed me a bunch. I'm on a lot of his videos. And he's like, dude, you should really do it. People would follow you. So we jumped on it, and it's just taken off from there. And now we're traveling all over the country. We're in Las Vegas right now. It took us 36-hour drive to get here. So it was absolutely outrageous. But we're going all over the country. We're racing everywhere. 2 weeks from now, we'll be in South Carolina for bragging rights. And, you know, I've got a crew that works with me. A lot of these guys work in the shop, and then we get on the road and we go everywhere, you know. So it's been a true blessing to do this. And then we drag race and we drift. So, and we focus more on stick shift racing, you know, and bringing that back to life, because that's always been one of my passions. And we've excelled in it. And of course, with drifting, it's a stick shift too. So we just jumped into that. We started drifting about a year ago, and we've been fortunate enough to get in at LS Fest and everywhere else, you know, and drift our cars. And it's just been great. It's been really great.
I really appreciate too that, like, this weekend was a really good example of how you're able to handle stress and pressure, and because things didn't go as planned the last couple days, and you were up all night with all of your friends. You made new friends, being able to work on the issue. Things didn't go exactly how you wanted them to today. You're also not going to let that hold you back. You're going to use it to move forward. And a lot of people, when they hit that wall, they lose all hope and they deflate. And they're like, well, this is done. I have nothing else.
Absolutely.
And
so,
that's cool.
Yeah, one of the big things is now I go into prisons and jails and stuff of that nature and share my story. And one of the things that I set myself up for right before I got out is I said, hey, I'm going to be let down. People are going to tell me no. All right. And I've studied that every day, and I prepared myself for that constantly. You know what I mean? Because it's going to happen. And I think that's the biggest thing in anybody, from dealing with PTSD from being in the military, or, you know, things that happen in the military. Maybe you got hurt really bad or something of that nature. And then, or, you know, childhood abuse, you know, anything that's really going on in life, you know, and it goes all the way to addicts and alcoholism and everything else. You know, when you're put in a position, you can go to jail. And, like, let's just say the addict himself, like, he's a drug addict and all that stuff. He gets himself clean. He's in jail, and it's like, all right, I want to make these changes. I want to do this. I want to do that. So now you're clean. You're thinking with a clean mind. Everything's going good where you're at, and you're not preparing yourself for somebody to tell you no. So now you got this record behind you, you know, and everybody's like, oh, you're a recovering addict. Oh, you're this, you're that. They know the old you or what's on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? They're not really looking at the character. All right, so then you go to your first job interview and somebody's like, nope. You go to your second job interview, nope. And it just keeps going. And then after being told no so many times and feeling that disappointment, the addict goes back to using. The alcoholic goes back to drinking. The guy with PTSD wants to commit suicide. You know, so it's that preparation and that mental game, all right, that helps push you past that. Like, I was told no so many times. I was told no by my car yesterday. All right, and that's depressing. We've drove 36 hours. We got out here and we blew the motor up. I'm talking about windowed the block, you know, and that's a fully built race motor. So where do we go from here? You know what I mean? And we made that decision last night. We got on Marketplace, started scoping out some stuff. We found parts from a whole bunch of different people where we could assemble a whole engine and go out here and compete today. And that was big. We had a little meeting on it all together amongst each other, and was like, hey, well, we came here to race, and we can do it. so let's do it. We at 2 a.m. in the morning, we had an engine that we were assembling on the side of a trash can, you know, and we put this whole thing together. We got it running this morning, and we just went down the track at 170 miles an hour on 30 pounds of boost on an engine that we built from multiple different people we got from parks in Vegas and threw it together on a trash can. Who can say they did that?
Well, and you wouldn't have been able to make it happen if you didn't decide that that's what you were going to do.
Absolutely, and we gave 100%. We stayed up all night long. We checked and just went over it and went over it. We guessed on a tune file and was just like, I hope this works, and threw it in the car. And it turned out that everything was perfect. I mean, it literally fired right up. None of us could believe it, you know, but at that point we were delusional from being up 2 days, you know, but it's great, you know, but we told ourselves we were going to do it, and we were going to make this race, and we weren't going to lose it based on a lack of not trying. So we gave it everything that we had, and we succeeded. We succeeded. And that's with everything in life, though. If everybody decides to, man, I'm just going to give it everything I got, and even though they have to deal with that disappointment at times, if they put it behind them and keep going, sky's the limit.
You're not slowing yourself down at that point.
Absolutely not.
And you're super inspiring, and I'm really excited to follow you guys. I'm on the opposite side. I'm in California, so I probably won't be seeing you guys local. I will have to, you know, do some maneuvering. If people want to follow you guys online, you have Instagram and YouTube and all of that.
Facebook, TikTok. So on Facebook, it would just be Thomas West. You know, everybody can look up my name on Facebook. Same thing with Instagram, just put in Thomas West or at Stick Shift Racing, all one word. Same thing with YouTube. You can either go to Renegade Racing or at Stick Shift Racing, and it comes right up. On TikTok, it's Two Turnt Tommy, because I'm wild as crap.
And I'll make sure to add all of this stuff in the caption, so if people want to follow along, I sure am.
Absolutely.
So that way they can check it out.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope you travel home safe.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That wraps up Holley LS Fest West 2024. I hope you guys had an awesome time. I sure did. They're all putting everything away now. I'm gonna head back to the Airbnb so I can edit this and post it for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.